All right, Andrew, thank you for coming in again today. It's good to see you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. Oh, well, it's good. I'm glad you made it in. So last time we sort of discussed why you were here, just after being sent in sort of at the advice of your mom and the school counselor, having some recent behavioral concerns, and we'd sort of established that you have an episode of depression. So today I was hoping to get a little bit more history and understanding from you about where you're at, the relationships in your life, and when this all began. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me a bit when these symptoms or when your depression, when this first started?
Yeah, my dad, the mine shut down about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And so my dad found another job shortly after that. And so we were only about halfway through the school year. So my parents made the decision that we were going to stay in town here to finish up the school year while my dad went to work at the new mine. And then after the school year, then we'd move. Then we'd move to the new town where my dad is and kind of get the house and all that kind of stuff. So, since he was gone, I don't know what's happened. It's just, I haven't been doing as well in school. I'm skipping a few more classes, drinking a little bit more with friends on the weekend and stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it sounds like your family had sort of always been together. Then with the recent shutdown of the mine, that your dad had to leave town and has been working out of town since.
Yeah, and I miss him. It's he's busy, right? He's super busy. So we pretty much only talk to him once a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'd be difficult.
Yeah.
And so that's when things started changing for you. That was a significant event.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think from there you could tell me a bit more about, like, obviously it's an important relationship with your dad, but you can touch on who are the important people in your life and a bit more about those relationships?
Yeah, so I mean, my dad, he's the guy that we go fishing with and go sailing with and do all the he's, like I say, he's super busy. He's very devoted to his job.
Yeah.
And when he comes home, he tries to spend as much time with us doing all sorts of fun stuff, right? And then mom, she's the bitch. But she's not. I mean, I say that. But there's four of us, four kids, so we're all trying to deal with. We're not the only family where the dad has now had to move off to a different city to find a job or whatever, right? So I guess dad still makes sure that we have enough money for food and stuff like that. But mom's the one who has to do all the practical stuff. She has to drive us to school, and do the grocery shopping, and take us to stuff like that. And it's just, I don't think she has enough time to to do the stuff that I want to do. So I'm just kind of pulling back from that a little bit.
So it sounds like you and your dad have historically had a pretty close relationship.
Yeah.
You have a lot in common, going fishing, whatnot, and you enjoy spending time with him. Now, your mom, you're not quite as close with, but she is pretty involved in your day-to-day life. Or?
Yeah, I'm close to mom. I think just by the nature of my parents' relationship is that because my dad works so much, mom kind of has to deal with all the crap during the day, right? She has to make sure we get off to school in the morning. She has to, make supper for us, and
She's pretty busy with four kids.
Yeah,
a lot to do,
I like to tease my sister quite a bit too. So, she can't take it very well though. So she just runs off and cries to mom when I'm just having fun with her too.
And so is that your older or younger sister?
No, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I have two brothers and one sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your sister is the youngest there. But how would you describe that relationship? Obviously you said you like to tease. She doesn't take it so well.
Yeah.
But...
Well, she's 14 years old, So, you know, she's just kind of started high school, and she has some
Mm.
pretty hot friends, so. But yeah, she's pretty young. She's kind of like a nerd. You know, I just like to tease her because it's fun to tease her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when she cries to mom, then mom doesn't take it so well, and mom just kind of unloads on me, and it makes me feel pretty crappy.
Oh, okay. Causes some tension between you and mom there when that
Yeah.
happens.
I do to my brothers too, so
Okay.
I get in crap a lot from mom.
How are the relationships with your other two brothers?
Yeah, you know, we all kind of do our own thing, you know, but we go, you know, in the summertime we go skiing together, and summertime, yeah, in the wintertime. In the wintertime we go snow skiing. But you know, he has different friends, and he's kind of, you know, he's turning into a bit of a pothead, so I don't have as much in common with him. I still like to tease him and make him cry and beat him up a little bit, but yeah, he's taken a different path. And then the other brother, he's really young. He's still in elementary school, so he's still like plays with baby toys and stuff.
How's your relationship with him?
It's I don't talk to him all that much. He kind of does his own thing. And, I mean, I'm 18 years old, right? You know, it's all about me.
Fair enough. And so you've done a good job describing your family. Now, what about your friends or people at school? Any other relationships?
Yeah. I have my good friends Scott and Frank that we hang out quite a bit. I'm on the I'm in the school band, and I play wrestling. Although I haven't been going to band very much lately, just because the practices are really early in the morning, and so I missed a couple of practices, so I've been suspended from the band a little bit. And I mean, I love music. I love being in the band. I still, you know, hang out with Scott, who I met through the band and I've known for a few years.
He's still in the band then?
He's still in the band, yeah.
Okay.
So he kind of tells me what's going on and who's doing what.
And so you have missed a couple practices, so you're sort of out of the band right now temporarily, or?
Yeah, until, you know, the teacher says until I can make a commitment that I'm going to show up at practices and competitions and stuff they go to.
Okay, is that something you're missing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was pretty bummed. When I got suspended from the band.
Yeah. Okay, and at school in general, are there any other significant people in your life?
Yeah, well, my buddy Frank, you know, I hang out with him on the weekends mostly, and you know, he likes. At first, I didn't hang out with him too much because I thought he drank too much.
Yeah.
But now I'm hanging out with him more because, you know, drinking a little bit more is kind of fun.
Okay, so
it seems to be fun right now.
So you're seeing him a lot on the weekends, and kind of.
Yeah, I crash at his house, and his parents are cool. You know, they just let me crash, and they feed me, and they buy beer for us.
Okay.
His parents are awesome.
They're the cool parents. Do you have a job or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No. Which is another thing too, because I need money, so I have to ask my mom for money, and she says no all the time. I get an allowance, but the allowance doesn't go very far.
All right. So, is there any other relationships that are important to you that we're missing out on here?
Well, I have an uncle who lives far away. That, you know, I think I have a lot in common with him, but he lives so far away, and it always feels like such a bother to call him. You know, it costs so much money to make a long distance phone call, and and he visits a couple of times a year, but he's you know, I kind of want to. He travels a lot and does lots of really neat stuff that I hope to be like him in many ways someday, but it's just like I don't want to call him. I don't want to bother him. I don't want to, you know, it's only if I do want to call, I don't want to talk because there's the phone in the house is right in the kitchen, so I don't want to.
Can't get a lot of privacy there.
Exactly.
Okay. So from what I'm hearing, you've got a lot of family in your life, but you've had a lot of changes recently. You've described a pretty close and comfortable relationship with your dad, but when the mine closed down, he's since had to leave. And since he left, it's changed that relationship. It sounds like one that you've missed. But also there's been increasing tensions with your mom during that time. And that the relationships with your siblings, there's some tension there, which has also created some arguments with your mom.
And Mom says if I keep it up that she's going to kick me out of the house.
Oh, okay. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's stupid. It's my house too, and I don't, I'm just teasing them a little bit. It's not my fault they can't take some gentle ribbing.
Yeah. Okay. And then so you've also described your two friends, Frank and Scott. Frank is in the band as well?
No, Scott's in the band.
Scott's in the band, but you're not seeing him as much since you recently had to leave the band.
Yeah.
And then Frank, you've been drinking with more on the weekends, and so you guys have a relationship and see each other more doing that. And then your uncle as well is further away, and it sounds like you have a relationship and understanding with, but you can't reach out to him maybe as much as you would like because the limitations around the phone, being able to call him, so you don't really have a private place that you can actually talk to him. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
Does it need to be 15 full minutes? Okay, so just to summarize what you've talked about, or what we've talked about here, that it seems that your parents, your mom and your dad, are sort of the closest and most influential in your life right now. With the transition and your dad having to leave, there's some distance in that relationship, which is obviously being missed on a number of levels, but also how that transition has affected your whole family life. And it's created some tensions between yourself and your mom, that there's a role dispute going on there. Now, I'm wondering, and based on that, if you'd be comfortable working, I guess, through the dispute with your mother over the next few sessions and see how that plays into, is affected by and affects your depression. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. All right, good.